So excited.
All right. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Excited to be here after our last video, Greg and myself getting on and announcing this project of AI-driven business and what we're doing specifically. And we're actually going to give you a recap of that last video in a minute that was generated by ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. And so I'm excited to do that because then we're truly staying in the same spirit of this project, which is using ChatGPT to build businesses and other artificial intelligence programs. But before we do that, my name is Jimmy Smith. This is Greg Flint, and we are coming together to do a project live and build a business live each and every day, or at least as often as we can during the weekdays, of building a business in front of you using solely ChatGPT and artificial intelligence programs to inform our decisions and to help us make the right decisions for the business. So super excited to be on, Greg. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, super pumped. We were both very excited after the last one, the level of engagement, the discussions. It was pretty awesome. So we're excited for round 2.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, we typically are going to take 30 minutes to an hour on these videos. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the summary of the first one, which I kind of gave a little bit of it. There wasn't a ton that happened, but let me read what ChatGPT put together based on our transcripts from this video, solely using all artificial intelligence software to do that. So here's what it said.
I want to ask really quick. So Jimmy, you put our YouTube video into something that transcribed it. Then you took that transcription, gave it to ChatGPT and said, please summarize this.
Correct. So there's actually, there's a Google Chrome extension that is called, let me find it. I think it's YouTube Video Summarizer or something. Where is it? Yep, YouTube Summary with ChatGPT. It's free, and it will, after a few hours, it has a transcription of a video after it's posted, and you can then have it send to ChatGPT to summarize. You can also download the transcript if you want to use it for things. So I actually use that for my other YouTube videos on my channel at Ask Jimmy Smith. We'll take the transcription, we'll make it into blog posts, into tweets, into YouTube or Instagram quote cards. So you can use that for a lot of things, and it's currently free, so I like it. The only issue with ChatGPT is that there's a limitation for how much you can put into an inquiry, and so it will sometimes cut off that transcription, and that's fine. You can paste in more information if you want to give it more information, but yeah, that's the only issue because there are limitations. But here's what ChatGPT came up with. All right. On our last episode, Greg Flint and Jimmy Smith announced a new AI-driven project focused on building a business using ChatGPT and other AI techniques. The project will be documented live on the AI-driven business YouTube channel, that's right here, where they will demonstrate the potential of artificial intelligence in building businesses. The project will use ChatGPT and other AI software programs, and the YouTube channel will be free and not for commercial purposes. They also discussed the decision-making process in selecting a business model and ultimately decided to focus on drop shipping due to its lower upfront costs. Join us on this journey as we watch the building of a business using AI in real time. So yes, that's the description. That's pretty good. Don't you think?
I continue to be amazed at how good of a job. Okay. I understand. I know that it does a good job, but I am consistently amazed. So yeah, that was pretty awesome.
And
it was interesting, the little details that it pulled out. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, I clicked on that Google Chrome extension that I talked about, and it had it summarize it. And then I asked it to rewrite it to give a summary starting with on our last episode as if it was a recap of a TV show. And so I actually really liked that it did that because it sounds kind of cool. But yeah, so pretty fun. Now, one thing that I will point out too is we, as it said, it's not for commercial purposes. We're not doing this so that other people will buy our programs or anything. If in the future we have stuff, that's great, but that's not why we're doing it. We also aren't doing this. We kind of have had the discussion that if no one shows up, but we build a business ChatGPT and document the whole thing, then sweet, you all can come back and rewatch everything later. So I think that'll be fun. And so we just wanted to document the process, but I think that's it. That's good for the intro. Greg, do you have anything else before we get into what we need to do today?
No. All right. Let's jump right in, man.
So I'll put your screen up here, and yeah, we're going to start with selecting a niche for that drop shipping business, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Start a new chat. So what do we think? 3, 5, or 4? I don't know.
Let's do 4.
Yeah. All right. So we have to go easy on it. Only 25 messages every 3 hours.
Right.
I think we'll be okay.
I think so too.
Probably.
So let's give it the description of, I guess we need you to act. I think that's probably my favorite thing right now is using act as. And we did that in the last episode. We need you to act as an entrepreneur, starting a drop shipping business. And then give it the parameters. We currently have are investing $1,000 total into the project and are looking to maximize profitability. I think also we would want to tell it we're going to donate, I don't know, 25% of the profits or something, 20% of the profits. I don't remember what we had said.
I'll say a portion
Okay.
of the profits
Okay.
to a charitable or yeah, preferably within the niche that we will be operating.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Correct. So then we can ask, what are your recommendations for the best niche for us to start this drop shipping business in?
Ooh, growing demand, low competition, aligns with the values of the chosen charity. Okay, it went really hard down the charity route.
It did, okay. Eco-friendly products.
Okay. Ooh.
Health and wellness.
Wow. That is one that I would not have expected.
Yeah.
Educational toys and tools.
Okay. What are these? What's it saying right there? Can you read that to get started with your dropshipping business?
Yeah, to get started with your, So actually, let me just summarize some of the above. So basically, it gave us 3 niches, however you want to pronounce it. Eco-friendly products, which is pretty wide it's like, oh, it could be, eco-friendly products, but then had it really, really as a wide set of products. Like, could be sustainable fashion, or cleaning. To me, that's very wide. Health and wellness, educational, and health and wellness is massive. Educational toys and tools, also huge. And then it said to get started, it basically gives you a 7-step plan to get started. So research and validate, select a supplier, set up an online store, optimize product listings, market your store, establish a relationship with the charity, monitor and optimize.
Okay.
I feel like so yeah, what are your thoughts, Jimmy?
Well, I have a background in health and wellness a little bit just because I like that stuff, but I feel like it's super competitive. And so I would probably steer a little clear from that. I kind of like the educational toys. It stands out to me the most. But I'm open to the eco-friendly products. I mean, technically educational toys and tools could also be eco-friendly.
Right. Right.
But I don't know.
I kind of, there's part of me that says, so I don't love the responses for the reason, and it's on us. I think when we said, "Hey, we're donating a portion to a charitable organization," it kind of got mixed in trying to combine them. So
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to reset and and ask it instead of overlapping. I think this is a really important thing for ChatGPT. If you say, we need to figure out a niche, and we're going to donate a portion of the profits, and we want to maximize profitability, and we want to, like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it does a great job of combining all of those things together, or
Mm.
it didn't feel like it did here. And it might be that we do it a little different, and then yeah,
Okay.
it adjusts. So my thought is to remove this line about the
Okay.
charitable organization, and we basically save that to the end to say, okay, this is awesome. Once we have our niche, then finding a charitable organization within that niche, to me, feels like the right answer.
Perfect.
How you feeling?
That
Okay.
sounds good.
And I should have paused for a second and said, "Hey, did you see how I edited that?" I just went over and clicked edit so that I could edit the prompt, and now it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of within the same tab, for lack of a better term. Uh, okay. So we went the wrong direction here. So I'm going to go ahead and just stop. You're welcome, OpenAI. I gave ChatGPT a break and didn't require it to finish that thought that had
Mm-hmm.
no real value. So we need you to act as an entrepreneur starting a drop shipping business. What recommendations do you have for the
Let's say best niches, since it may not want to
yes.
pick one for us. Let's see if that helps.
Yes. And I also so we say we need you to act as, and then I'm gonna switch it to like first person or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is. I'm gonna switch the context to be you are investing a total of $1,000 in the project. What recommendations do you have for the best niches to start this drop shipping business? So
Perfect.
changing the context a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But please note, yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is a really good point. ChatGPT's models are based on knowledge up to September 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So the latest and greatest stuff may or may not show up in here. So let me
Correct.
read this really quick. Sustainable and eco-friendly products sounds familiar. Home workout equipment, similar to the health and wellness that we talked about previously. Smart home devices. I'm a smart home nerd, so that is completely up my alley. DIY and crafting supplies, big giant pass. It's just not my thing. Pet supplies and accessories. I could totally see that. Specialty food and beverages.
Mm.
Huh. And then mobile phone accessories, phone cases, screen protectors, chargers, portable power banks, self-care and wellness products. Oh, essential oils, diffusers, weighted blankets, other relaxation aids.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, 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 legal disclaimer, yada, yada, yada. So we have sustainable and eco-friendly products. And I think to the point that you talked about previously, we can kind of weave some of these together where
Yeah.
it's not all just sustainable and eco-friendly, that we can do all multiple together.
Okay.
So we could do sustainable and eco-friendly as an aspect of pet supplies and accessories, or specialty food and beverage, or
Right.
whatever it happens to be.
Okay. Well, I know pet supplies
So
are
Yeah, please.
pretty competitive as well.
Yep.
Specialty food and beverage get into legal things I don't want to deal with right now.
I completely agree. When I saw that, I was like, "Ooh, you have expirations on things, things expire, yeah, I agree with that. Anything that's consumable, yeah, pass."
Yeah, because nothing really stands out to me because smart home devices would be kind of difficult, wouldn't it, for us?
I
I mean,
don't
that's a
know.
pretty
Yeah,
big.
yeah. Yeah, I was surprised that they went with smart home devices as a drop shipping, to
Yeah, I mean,
me,
smart lighting.
differentiator. Well, the differentiator in smart home devices is either the hardware or the software, of
Hmm.
which we would be developing none of it. And
Right.
so I think, yeah, I think smart home devices, I would cross that off the list.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I love it,
Let's.
but yeah, go ahead.
Is there one on here that stands out to you the most?
Um, not not really.
Okay.
Um,
Let's see.
yeah, self-care
Self-care and
and yeah.
wellness we could do. I mean, like weighted blankets are pretty big right now. Weighted blankets and like it could kind of fall in line with the educational toys. You could do things for children that are weighted or for children that have sensory things,
Hmm.
those sensory
Yeah,
toys and stuff.
sensory issues. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that could be an option that's a little bit different and more niche.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, guys. I kind of like the idea of educational toys because I don't see that a ton, and maybe it's just because I'm not in that, I'm not looking for those products or anything.
Right.
But then
So, do you wanna give it another go and uh, just say, please generate uh,
you can say 8 more.
more? Yeah. See what it comes up with. Create more niche ideas for your dropshipping business. Ooh, okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
Okay.
Travel accessories,
Yeah.
educational toys and games. It won't escape.
Right.
Educational toys and games. It keeps coming back. Outdoor and adventure gear. That's interesting.
Uh-huh.
Personalizing custom products.
That
Okay.
sounds
Gardening supplies.
okay. I like these a little better. They're more
Me too. Oh, subscription boxes. That's
okay.
pretty interesting.
Well, you can do that within any niche, though.
Right.
Health and
Health
wellness.
and wellness supplements. Yeah, I don't the supplement game. That's I
Yeah.
mean, aside from the fact that it's a consumable, that is a wickedly competitive area.
Yeah. And remote.
Remote work and
Okay.
home office essentials. Huh.
Okay. Um, so the ones that I like on this list, I'll
Yeah.
select. Let's see. Can you scroll up a little bit? Yeah. Um, I like
Travel, educational
travel,
toys and games.
educational, outdoor and adventure. Even
Yeah, I'm
gardening
not.
supplies could be good.
Yeah.
um,
Hmm.
and then remote work and home office, just because we both do that.
Yeah.
So it's fairly simple. If the
Yeah.
products don't go so well, we can,
Right.
have some for ourselves. So those would be
Exactly.
my favorite. Can we ask ChatGPT to compare and contrast those based off of the other factors of looking to add a charity, or do we not want to do that yet? Do we want to select and then
Um,
do the charity?
I uh, I think we I think we select and then go to the charity, because otherwise I
Okay.
think well, I mean, we it can't hurt. It
Yeah.
might be a good experiment to give it a try and say, hey, which of these, or I'm not
Well,
sure what I would ask. Go ahead.
let's wait until it's down to like 3 of them because I think we've got
Sure.
5. Are there any out of that 5 that I said that you don't want to do?
So you like the first three, then gardening and
Yep,
and
8.
remote work.
Yeah.
Uh I wish I didn't, but they all seem
Decent.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because
Um,
I do think, I mean, their point, even though it's a year and some change old, year and a half old, I mean, people are traveling more.
yeah.
Um, remote work continues to be a significant thing.
Okay. Well, the more I think about the travel, considering
Hmm.
what happened a couple years ago, that is a vulnerable thing if it happens again.
True.
The business would
It's a
be
really good point.
gone for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
I think educational toys and games can always be around, especially as homeschool is on the rise. Outdoor and adventure gear can always stay around for the most part.
Hmm.
Gardening and then remote work and home office that continues to grow. And if another event happens, then that would
Yeah.
also grow then too. So I think those would probably be my 4 favorites right now. The more I think about the
Yep.
travel, I like it because
Yep.
travel's growing right now quite a bit.
Yep.
But
But
yeah,
you're right.
you never
It
know.
is vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so here's the question: can any of them be combined to create a something that's even narrower? And I'm so like educational toys and games, or like travel accessories and outdoor adventure gear. Can you and bad example, but can you combine them in some way that allows you to create something a little bit deeper?
Well, gardening supplies and outdoor could, depending on the.
Hmm.
Um, you could. I mean, it could also be educational too. I mean, if you were in a niche that was almost, let's just say, survival, right? The
Hmm.
survival niche can have fishing gear,
Yeah.
rock climbing gear. Can also have gardening supplies, and it can also have educational toys and games for children. Um,
Right. True.
so
And
we could
so
like,
educational toys and games is an interesting one. That one, I have a I have a friend, if you're watching, you know who you are, who had a uh, educational toy and game, and this is just now coming to me, but had a company that sold educational toys and games, and it's exceedingly hard to get above the noise of um, the Hasbro, like the the big
yeah,
names.
okay.
Um, and so that's the only thing that I think about there, like gardening. And maybe it's just that I don't know as much about gardening. Like, are there, so when I think of, I'm just trying to look at one of these as an example. I'm not really seeing it, but so I guess educational toys and games, you have these, you have these huge toy manufacturers.
Mhm.
Does that really exist in gardening, or is it, and maybe it does, and I just don't know.
Well, I think it does, but it also doesn't. Like there's Black and Decker and like lawn
Right.
equipment, that kind of stuff.
Sure. Sure.
Um,
Sure.
but I don't think like if somebody needs a little shovel, they don't care what the brand name is for the most part.
Right. And that's kind of what I'm
So,
thinking is, do they just not care at all about
mhm.
some of those things?
Right. So I like gardening. Um, Outdoor and adventure gear could be dangerous, um, depending
Hmm.
on the stuff that was being sold. If they're doing rock climbing or cycling or anything, if it breaks, right? So gardening's
Yeah,
fairly safe. Um,
I think so.
I like, I think gardening and then remote work and home office. We also have to remember too that we both have experience with that, and we also have audiences for that too. So there's
It's a really good point.
some of that we can.
Yeah.
So um, let's have
Yeah. And yeah, I like it.
let's tell
Go ahead.
ChatGPT our
Yep.
our 2 favorite then would be gardening supplies and accessories, and then
Yep.
remote work and home office. Let's ask
Hmm.
ChatGPT. Um, to compare and contrast those two markets from a drop shipping perspective.
Yep.
For the greatest opportunity to grow the business. I don't know.
Got it.
Figure it out.
We've narrowed our focus to
gardening gives a huge opportunity for charities, though, too, because there's a lot of environmental preservation charities that can be donated to. Just as an
true.
FYI.
No, that's a really good point. Anything else we want to provide?
Let's see, we've narrowed our focus to niche. Yeah, I like it.
Cool. Ooh, I gotta scroll. All right. So they're both great ideas, which ChatGPT would say that since it came up with them. So remote work and home office essentials, pros, growing market with the rise of remote work, increased demand for home office products, wide range of products. You can offer a variety of items such as chairs, desks, desk organizers, laptop stands, lighting, productivity tools, target audience. Remote workers and freelancers come from diverse backgrounds, higher price point. Home office products have a higher price point, potentially leading to higher profit margins, cons, competition. Shipping concerns. Some home office products like furniture, large and heavy. That's a really good call out. Gardening supplies and accessories, pros, growing interest in gardening and urban farming has increased. Seasonal demand. Okay, that's weird that's a pro. Okay, it's also a con. Weird. Thanks, ChatGPT. And this is probably a good opportunity to say, this is why, and we love you, ChatGPT. Please, don't send the robots for us. This is why you have to have humans to vet the content, because as I looked at seasonal demand and thought, that doesn't make sense, because that's kind of a con. And then it said it's a con as well. So back to pros. Diverse products. You can offer a range of products: seeds, planters, tools, fertilizers, yada, yada, yada. Passionate audience. Gardening enthusiasts are often passionate about their hobby and maybe more likely to make repeat purchases, engage with your brand. That's really fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, what's cool about the gardening niche is that there's a lot of ability for content too, in terms of blogs and things that we can use AI to create SEO driven content for that audience, whether it's Facebook posts, a community, influencers. Influencer costs will probably be cheaper than home office influencers. If we were to pay somebody to market the product, I would assume finding someone that's an influencer in home network or home and remote work is going to be kind of difficult unless they're, an e-commerce person, something like that.
Right.
But gardening is very passionate. And so if you have an influencer in that niche, I think there's very specific products that those influencers will want to push and can help. And we can use our marketing dollars for that to get some traction right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. And not only that, we could potentially partner with an influencer in the home and garden space to even help do product development or, product selection.
We can also, if we found a small enough charity, partner with them to push products, because they're going to get a percentage of every sale. So we could say, hey, we donate 10%. I'm just throwing out a number. We're donating 10% of profits to you as a charity. However, if you push the products and they go through your link, we'll give you 25% of the profits, or, a higher revenue almost as an affiliate. But they could then make some additional revenue without having to ask for donations.
Right. Go buy these products here, and we get. Yeah, that's
I don't know of any nonprofits that are based on home and remote work too. So it'd be a little difficult. We'd have to just pick a random one.
Right. No, that's a good point. It's a really good point.
I don't know. I'm leaning now towards the gardening stuff, but
I agree. I don't want to be, because it's not it's not a thing that I would personally put to good use. Whereas the home office stuff, I could see, like I can see the vision of okay, home office decor. It's pretty wide, but I kind of think that. Yeah, please.
In the first thing, we were thinking about print on demand products, and print on demand Christmas products for gardening will be much bigger than actual gardening supplies. So it could be gardening shirts, mugs, etc., where you're not going to have too many things that are about remote work that can be print on demand, unless you did like posters, right? Patience and hard work, dedication, right? That's motivational posters.
It's accessories, but the internet version. Yeah. That's a really good point, because if you're a gardener, you're not just into gardening while you're into gardening. It's a lifestyle thing.
Yes. We can also take the route, depending on how people look at this. There's a lot of news about food shortages in different parts of the world. You can take that route too for gardening, that it's going to grow because there are survival enthusiasts that are learning to garden now because of that factor.
It's a really good point.
I like gardening now. I'm more gung-ho about it.
Yeah. And so as I push that direction, there are also some nerdy high-tech gardening angles, like all of the, I don't know, my wife sent me a link to it's like a container that, and obviously we wouldn't sell this, but when I think of where gardening is going, it's like literally a container, like a 40-foot container that has these, like, it's all a complete automated garden that produces tons and tons and tons of vegetables and, I don't know, other yummy things. So I think there's some interesting, I think gardening is the way to go.
Okay. And there's also content. I'm just going to throw it out here so we don't forget, and it's documented, but there's content too, not just blogs, but you could easily probably put together some sort of a book for new gardeners. So it could be if we're drop shipping, we can say, hey, if you buy this, you get our free book on how to garden, on the basics of gardening that comes with it. It's 50 pages. We could even potentially have AI create videos for training videos that come with that.
Sure.
And so I think that there's bigger potential. I mean, you could do that with home office too, productivity courses, books and stuff, but there's a lot of those out there. There's a lot of gardening books out there too, but
I think the opportunity for user-generated content within the gardening niche is way higher.
Yes.
Than, like, hey, check out my home office.
Yeah. Exactly.
And, okay. Yeah. I think I'm in. I will be honest. I would not have been able to predict gardening supplies and accessories. It would not have likely been in my top 20 things that I would have been able to come up with that I would have thought, let's go for it. So to me, that says there are a few things that says. One, we're clearly not manipulating this outcome to get to a certain thing that we've already decided. But more importantly, I think this is the purest form of coming up with, hey, what is it that we should do here?
Right.
Because it's not I mean, have you recently bought a gardening product?
No,
No? Weird.
I have
Me
not.
either. Yeah. So I think that's, yeah.
That's
So
true.
gardening supplies and accessories.
Okay.
I know we've got a little bit of time here.
Mhm.
I'm thinking we call it here and we plan
Okay.
for our next time to kind of dig a little deeper into what are we going to name it, and then specific products and start going down that path.
Yeah,
What do you
I
think?
agree. Love it. I'm excited
Awesome.
for it. And yeah, we've got it tomorrow. Let me see. What time was
Yeah.
that at? Um,
Is
I
it
have to
noon
find my little thing.
tomorrow? Yeah, noon central.
Tomorrow at noon central, so it's 12:15 on YouTube. So
Yes. Yeah,
12:15 Central
12:15
Time, 1:15 Eastern
central.
Time.
So, yeah,
Yep, we'll be
bring your
back there.
lunch, join us if you're on the East Coast. Well, bring your after lunch coffee and join us. Yeah, so 12:15 Central, and I'll let everyone do the time zone math. Anything else before we wrap up, Jimmy?
Nothing from me. So I'm really
All right.
excited for this. I think, yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow we'll do the name and hopefully a couple other things. And maybe we can continue down this. Or I don't know if we're going to start a new chat or not tomorrow, but we might want to use the
Yeah,
same thread. But either
sure.
way, excited for it. And yeah, people leave
Awesome.
comments. Let us know your thoughts, what you'd like to see, and we will see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.